Hi, welcome back. So it's been a little while since I've got round to doing these videos because I want to make sure that what I'm doing is really giving you something of value, which is a bit ironic because this particular video, the second one, is around the values you live by. Okay, so here I am in where I live in my little office space, and yeah, it's really me. No beautiful tall blonde whatever girl. It's me, because one of my values, my very, very important non-negotiable value, is that I live according to my beliefs, my inner strengths, and I am who I am. Okay. People will either love me or hate me. Thankfully, most people like me and love me. And I've done a lot of work over the years on understanding who I am and the values I live by. Okay, so let's take the basic principle of values. You know, we automatically think, yes, we all have values. We respect each other. We love each other. We're honest. We're this, we're that. And that's true in the main. That is very true. However, I've seen a lot of times when people have some real barriers in their lives and some real conflict, that actually what they're doing is they're trying to live outside of this value base. And when you talk to them about these values, they're just words. And when you start looking at the behavior behind the value, they begin to understand that to authentically live by your values, you have to have the behavior that goes with it. Okay. So, for instance, a lot of people have said to me, honesty. Honesty is a great value of mine. And I look at them. So let's take that value, honesty. All right. We all believe, fervently believe, that we are honest people and that we are truthful people. Now, are the two the same? Now, that's quite deep, and I'm not going to go into that now. But what I am going to ask you to think about is, if honesty is a value of yours, does that value go with, let's say, being kind? And when that person asks you, what do you think of me? Are you kind to them or honest? Okay, think about that. It's that question on telly, does my bum look big in this? How many people will turn around and say, yes, yes, got a fat ass, whatever. If your value is kindness, no, you're not going to say that. You're going to find all sorts of ways to tell that person they look great, unless they look outrageous, and then you're kind enough to say, well, the colour may be wrong or whatever. So here you have two values that sometimes are very, they're opposed to each other. So that's when I say, when we talk about values, the other thing about a value is, okay, we're going to be honest. Let's stick with this honest one. How many people can say through a day that their behavior is honest? Okay, their behavior is honest. How many people have looked at a phone with ID, caller ID, and said, oh, no, not today. I don't want to talk to that person, and not answered it? Now, is that honest behavior? Now you're beginning to see. You have to start unpicking things. Okay, so we all need to live with our values. And once we have that ground base of what our values are, it actually makes life a lot more easier for understanding our relationships with other people, because it's not about our behavior. A lot of it is about what sort of behavior we accept from others. Okay, and this is really true when we talk about partnership love, marriage, that whole romantic sort of relationship, and family dynamics. Family dynamics are a whole other thing. So I want you to start thinking about the values you live by, and that there are lists of them, and often when I start a workshop, I say to people, what sort of values do you live by? And they all look at me blankly, and I have to pull out the list, and it's sometimes things people don't think about. It's things like generosity, it's about integrity, it can be about honesty. A value always will have a behavior that goes with it. Love is not a value. Love is a feeling. Okay, so if you could get that right, you'll begin to understand love is a feeling. What you want within love is the value of honesty and faithfulness and generosity and care and all those other things that go with it, because that's the behavior that makes up love. Okay, because love is like a big balloon with things in it. So that's what you need to think about. And I really, really wanted you to start thinking about this. So what I would say to you as an exercise, and I've done this a lot, is just list as many values that you believe are good values to have in a relationship or just for life. Okay. Now for me, you know, people talk about truth. Truth in itself is not a value. Honesty is the value, because if you're honest, then you behave truthfully. Okay. So really think about, does that value in your list have a behavior that goes with it? Then when you've done that, you know, and you can Google it, actually, you can go online and Google for a list of hundreds. Pick out the 10 that to you are really important. Okay, look at them and understand the behavior that goes around them. Then pick five values that you will not negotiate on. Okay, one of my top 5 values for me that I do not negotiate on at all is that sort of sense of we're all the same. Fairness. Fairness for me is utterly non-negotiable. If things aren't fair, if I am not treated fairly, if I can't treat another person fairly, there is something very wrong in the relationship I have with that person or with whatever the thing is that's going on. So that's one of my total non-negotiables. Faithfulness comes quite way down on my list, okay? Because for me, honesty in the relationship is huge. If you made a mistake, come back and tell me about it. I can deal with it. Make a mistake and hide it, I can't deal with the lying. So that for me again. So I've shunted them around in order that these are my non-negotiables. And if I want to be a healthy human being who has healthy relationships with other people, my values have to match theirs to a certain degree. And certainly my non-negotiables for me are in place, because that way I know that I'm being treated the way I deserve to be treated, because I have set my boundaries. So I want you to go away, think about this, and think about what your 5 non-negotiables would be. And then the interesting thing is, look at all the people around you, all the relationships you have, and ask yourself, do the 2 fit? And if you're having trouble in a relationship or problems, say at work or with family matters or in your marriage relationship, just look at those values and ask yourself, are those people treating me the way I want to be treated according to my value list? And if they're not, you may have the answer why. And then you have a better choice on what to do about it. Okay, so that's the values basic in a nutshell. There's a lot more work we would normally do with that, and if you join the Empowerment Club, we are going to start producing some videos that really get to the nitty-gritty of some of these issues. And for some people, it may be that the values workshop is something that really opens their eyes and really opens their minds into looking at how they interact and how the relationships they have around them work. And for other people, it'll be something else that we talk about. But I hope you've enjoyed it. And I hope you add this to your list of experiences. Take the bits that work for you. If the bits don't work for you, that's fine. Do it another way. Okay, so the next one we're going to look at is actually the inner voice, the negative and positive voices we use in our heads. And actually, when you get to the end of this video series, I think you'll begin to see how these things begin to fit together.